Oh my god, he's literally waiting right now. 1,